Live. Coolio. Alrighty. This is the first time I've done this in a minute, but unfortunately, this is well, not unfortunately. This is fortunate. This is more so a thing for the company. So this isn't our behind the pages as usual. So let me try to get these people invited and see what we can do. Also, hello everybody. How you guys doing? This is number one manga. I am the Thank you. LC invite. Alrighty. Marco Draws. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in, my guy. Oh, one of them worked. Now we gotta wait for the other guy. Big Heed. My man. My
What's
man.
up?
My man. Storm is here. I already he should be invited. I just sent an invite. Invite, my guy. Please come in. Please come in. Infinity Star. Oh, what's going on? What's going on, my guy? How you doing? I know you're over at like a concert or something, man, so I'm surprised you actually joined in. That's crazy work. I'm waiting for Storm real quick, and then we can get this show on the road.
Get the show on the road.
Unable to join. Don't you start this
That's
bizzle. I'm
what
not
I'm
playing
saying.
games. There's no way, man. Like, there's no way Instagram. There it is. See?
It works.
Bro, wait, time out. Before we say anything, how is it that when number one started the stream, dudes start hopping in instantly, bro, like with the
Look, bro.
quickness? It's
I don't
crazy.
stream much. That's the only reason why that happens, man. Like we got these artists in here. We got a couple of good artists in here to out here joining in the stream and everything like that. And then trying to show up, trying to peek in, trying to show some interest
See
in the
what's going
intrigue
on.
and
Hear
support.
what I'm saying, dog. 2 words. With the quickness. Oh, oh wow.
They were just
Nah, people.
like, hold on, my man's in here? What's going on? What are you streaming for?
Well, exactly. What is he doing? Because number
Well,
one
y'all
don't
finna
touch his
find out.
Instagram worth of nothing.
Nah.
But
Yeah.
you gotta get our introductions out the way, or do we want to? What we starting on
Well,
real quick?
yeah, what's going on, everybody? Shout out to the homie for streaming because I could not get it up to save my life. It was not allowing me to do it. So shout out to number one for being able to put this all together on his end. Thank you to him first and foremost. Um, for those of you who don't know me, I'm martial arts. I am the owner and operator of LumeBento LLC. I run a manga and light novel company out of Ohio, and yeah, we are gonna get into talking about a special one shot today. So yeah, we'll let my guy take it from here.
Does that mean me?
Yes, sir.
That means you, sir.
It's you,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
This
So,
is your day.
how y'all doing, fellas? It's your boy Storm Rave here, and I know I have been quiet for a fat minute,
Fact.
but the reason why I'm here right now is because I'm about to show y'all what we've been working on. I am the creator of our Excalibur and the one shot Recusant, which is going to drop May 10th, and we are here to go over this one shot and who we are. So I will pass the mic.
Just had to invite a couple people in to see if they can see us. Hey guys, as you know, before we even got into this intro, my name is Number One Manga. I am a aspiring manga artist not even aspiring. I am a manga artist now, so that's the crazy work. I am the creator of many different stories that you guys know me by. I mean, I've dropped so much art in different stories that it's some crazy. It's just at this point we're gonna get some official stuff out. But I am an official manga of LumeBento, and I'm glad that you guys are here to come check this type of stuff out, even if you're coming to watch this in post. So, welcome to the stream, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, tell the people about kind of your journey in creating this one shot recusant. Let them know what it was like to really work on this and kind of how it was to work on it in the beginning and then what it was like to work on it towards the end, and just some self discoveries that you've learned, about creating manga, and what that really entails for your next work.
Oh, definitely. That's easy. So the one thing that you got to know when you're creating a one shot is that you can't approach it the way you would approach a serialization. There has to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And when I joined LumeBento, what that basically means in terms of creating manga, the way that the greats like the Kishimotos, the Kubos, the Odas, the Mashimas, and so forth, there's a little something called Kisho Tenketsu, which is introduction, development, twist, and conclusion. And just like with three-act structure, even though what you do with the Kisho Tenketsu is different from what you would do in three-act structure, the principle is the same. Whereas you have to pull readers into your story, develop the characters, create a big moment, which is the twist, and then wrap it all up. Now, that is much, much, much harder to do than it seems. And why do I say that? When I started working on Recusant, my goal was simple. I was leading up to a particular plot point, and I was going to bring people into the story, like flesh the characters out so that they get to that plot point, and then I set up the big climax at the end, and then I wrap it up. And the one thing that I've noticed going into this one shot, and I know I sound kind of vague right now, but I'm trying not to give too much of it away. But the one thing that I learned is it is much harder to put everything you want into a one shot than it seems. Like you can only, and this is doing it. I'm basically saying this: doing a one shot is an exercise in priorities. Like, what do you prioritize the most? Like, do you prioritize the action? Do you prioritize the characters, or do you prioritize the drama or the story? And it is a really, 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 really tough balancing act. And the toughest thing for me in this one shot was to make it an enjoyable read all the way through. I learned a lot about my weaknesses, and I tend to prioritize story, which is not a bad thing, but it's to the point where some other things get pushed to the wayside. So it was definitely a learning experience. I'll tell you that for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the main character that we see here on my screen. Like, tell us a little bit about his journey, and kind of just your inspiration for him.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So the main character of my one shot Recusant's name is Veer Stormrave, which is, but for those of you who've been following me long enough, yes, he has the same name as my username, but it's a lot of people might get it backwards. I didn't name Veer. I didn't name my internet alias off of Veer. Well, no. I didn't come up with the name Stormrave, call myself that, and then call Veer that. It's actually backwards. I named Veer as a character, and then I named myself after my character, if that makes sense. The character was inspired mostly by Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, and he was also inspired by Hay from Darker Than Black. Shout out to those of you who've actually watched the whole show, including the OVAs and the movies. But Veer is a mercenary who takes jobs, and mostly he's a bounty hunter because the political system in this world, the military organizations only work for a sort of oligarchy, if I'm saying that right. Basically, like big organizations bought out the world's military. So you got store owners, business owners, and private owners who will hire mercenaries to do jobs for them, which is basically keeping people from robbing them, keeping people from assaulting their people, their shops, and things of that nature. That's Veer's job. And Veer as a person is very no nonsense. He likes to be straight to the point. He's one of those characters who's ironically funny. Like if you get a comedic scene out of Veer, it's not because he was intentionally trying to make a joke. It's because he's put in an awkward situation, and his deadpan reaction will his deadpan reaction comes off as like unintentionally funny. He's one of those types of characters. And he is a master swordsman. He's really good at what he does, which is why the next character, Ruby Malone, contacts him. And that's Veer.
Yeah, yeah, no, okay. I mean, I like that. I mean, if you guys haven't read this one shot yet, which you haven't, I always say if you haven't, but obviously you haven't read this one shot. It comes out May 10th over on LumeBento.net. You're gonna have to make an account. You're gonna have to go read it because
Yeah.
he put his soul and his heart into this whole thing. And I will say, with it being 49 pages long, 50 pages long, um, you you're in for a treat. I will say because I when I was reading it, I wasn't sure where it was gonna go. It's not like your atypical battle action shonen series. It has a lot of elements of mystery. It has some political stuff in there for sure, based on even what he was talking about, and I really enjoyed it overall. And yeah, I will say that Veer's a character that I would like to see more of in the future, even if it's just like fan art or a little other stuff here and there. So yeah, so we'll see more about that. But for those of you who don't know, I kind of want to talk about like what a one shot is and what we here at LumeBento do with the one shot. So as Stormer was talking about what his one shot kind of means to him and what he's kind of learned, a one shot is basically like he said, a story that has a beginning, a middle, and end. Here at LumeBento, we do one shots so that way we can have you develop in what we're talking about. So we teach you Kisho Tenketsu, we teach you all these different things, and I think that those things are very important to you learning how to create manga. Even if you don't completely use it all the way, you at least use some aspects of it, so that way you can further your storytelling to have it closer to what the Japanese do. Because if you've grown up reading, all the big stuff, then when you read Recusant, you're definitely going to see the full element of Kisho Tenketsu. You're going to see all the other things that we'll talk about later in more lives and stuff as we continue to release. But yeah, no, a one shot is basically for us just so that way you can develop, you can get to know us and all these other things. So yeah, and trust me, these everybody who's doing a one shot right now, which of course is both these two, they've learned a lot, and we've looked at a lot of how to build characters and story, do writing and stuff like that, and they've taught me a lot as well when it comes to story writing and character development. And reading Recusant is one of those stories that I've looked at and was like, damn, this is good. This is really good. I'm enjoying this, and especially from like the panel and the action and stuff like that. So yeah, um, while one shots are mainly written for like contests and stuff like that, it's something that we have within our ranks and within LumeBento to kind of show development and learn new techniques and how to create the stories you want to create. Because as you all know, recalling imagination one story at a time is our motto here, because we really want our stories to be imaginative. We really want people to come and see what we have going on, and also just to get engaged with characters in the world. It's all about the story. I know Stormrave had said earlier that hey, I know I mainly focus on the story. I think that's completely fine. I think the other thing we say, or they hear me say a lot, is the story over everything. I'd rather you tell a story where people can engage with everything and not be bored and see your own you know, uh, inserted politics like we have with other stuff. I'd rather them get involved with Veer, Stormrave, or Luna, or even Ruby, for that instance, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, what can people expect from this one shot? Kind of moving forward and going from there. What do you think somebody's takeaway is, or what do you want someone's takeaway to be with this one shot recusant?
I want people to at least understand who these characters are. That was my goal. And I am confident that I did a really, really, really good job establishing that. Like, by the time you finish this one shot, if you know who Veer, Luna, and Ruby are, after you finish reading, then I know I did my job. Because I put in a lot of effort into not only explaining who these characters are, and by explaining, I mean like showing, through their actions who these characters are, but also through the dialogue, through the narrative. And I try to keep it as simple as possible. Because here's the thing that that's very difficult to do when writing characters. It can be very tempting to try to do what seems cool or interesting. But one thing that I've made it a point to learn how to do is to really, really focus the characters. And when I mean focus the characters, I mean have them behave. It's just a fancy way of saying keep them consistent. Because when you keep your characters consistent, you keep them focused, and then it becomes easier to add little side things here and there without overshadowing the core of who these characters are. I'm also trying to tell a really interesting drama. There's a little plot twist. I'm not going to say how, and this is my sales pitch right here, but I'm trying to I'm trying to use this was my experiment in using misdirection. And when you read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I put Veer in a situation where he meets Ruby. They're talking about Luna, and there's a confrontation at the end, and you're going to be expecting one thing, but it's going to turn into something else. And I'm really, really, really interested to see what fans' takeaway of that plot twist is. That's also the second thing that I focused on.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, number one, do you have any thoughts on Recusant, the one shot?
I mean, my primary thoughts, and this is coming from somebody who's just like been watching the process, going over time. It's just I'm just watching, Storm put his work, like put his all into it. He's working his ass off, and it's some good work, man. Like it's in terms of the writing, it's not sloppy, it's not misconstrued, it's not missing any like really missing anything that it's trying to tell me. And I really do like the direction in which it's like you're trying to take me down this road, and we get the full context near the end, which I think that's the most important part. It didn't put it in the middle and make it meander, and make it to where I had to be concerned about pacing issues. Like there wasn't really any issues. It was a ride from start to finish to the point to where I got to fully experience it, and it didn't feel for the fact that it being like what 49 pages, right? 49 pages. Like it didn't feel long. It didn't feel like I was sitting there like having to go through every page consistently. And I'm saying this more like I read quick, so that's me, but it didn't feel like a slog. And I think that's honestly the most one shot, but not necessarily a one shot itself, but having, a short story, just having a general story, your chapter one as well. If you're to make a chapter one and it feels like a drag, people aren't going to be too interested or too keen on, reading it. But if it feels like it flows well and you can read through it 1 to 2 times to 3 times, you can just read through it and not get tired of it or not get like worn down. I think that's the sign of a really good one shot, and I think Storm did that really well.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, even like, you look at pages like this and you can tell there was a lot of work put into, the direction, the paneling and stuff like that. We've all read manga where, the paneling doesn't make any sense or it's inconsistent or, it goes from one to another and it feels like a whiplash. But with stuff like this, I just look at it, I'm like, man, this is really good. And something that I'm proud to announce on the LumeBento roster. So it's like even that, like I'm just like, man, I don't know how you do it, my man, but I'm learning how you do it, just from talking with you and just from going there. So yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of show everybody a little snippet as to what we got here. Let me actually replay this. So this is kind of a snippet for the trailer that's actually releasing on the 1st, just so you guys can see it. And it does have music. Don't worry, we created music for it, and we put the whole thing together and did some cool action stuff for it. So this is actually just a little small snippet, like I said, of the actual trailer dropping on the 1st. So you will get introduced to a lot more happening within the story. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So besides that, um, let me go back. All right. Besides that, I mean, like Storm, do you have anything else you want to talk about where this one shot is concerned?
It was also an experiment in me trying to really really develop my art, because one thing that I've been trying to do, I was working on something else, and I had to, kind of step away from that. You guys know what, for those my followers, you all know exactly what I'm talking about. But I really wanted to also improve my art and use different line techniques, learning how to center my characters. And another thing that I really want fans to take away from this is the direction of the art, because this is the first time I've ever drawn a manga right to left. I've always drawn my mangas left to right, but now it's going to be right to left. So it was kind of an experience in learning how to make manga, for lack of a better word, traditionally. And I feel like I've always been kind of lacking in that area. So that's another blessing that's brought on by this one shot. Like, I really, really, really want you guys to see the improvement before I move on to my next project.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think that for those of you who don't know either, one thing that we really focus on here at LumeBento is we focus on creating our manga right to left, and that's a staple within everything we do. There's a lot of people who there's a lot of companies that don't do that, but we do that because it's something I've always really enjoyed. So when you do read any of the stories, outside of light novels, of course, when you do read any of the manga that are actually on the website, LumeBento.net, they all read right to left. And if you try to go left to right, you're definitely going to see a page that says, hey, you're reading the manga the wrong way. Go back and read it the other way. So yeah, when this drops May 10th, you're gonna be in for a ride. You're gonna be in for a treat. And one of the things I definitely will say is be on the lookout for the trailer dropping on May 1st. And yeah, you will see the teaser snippet here online after this video over on the Lumento Instagram and Twitter. So, but I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I wanted people to get introduced to you. I want people to get introduced to your world, your characters, just kind of chat about overall this thing. And we're going to be holding more of these. And if they definitely continue not to work on the LumeBento Instagram, I'm definitely going to hit up number one and be like, hey, number one, I'm throwing you the alley-oop. Please start it up so that way we can actually, engage with more people and get this thing rolling,
Yep.
man. So.
Yep.
And I appreciate you hosting it. I really do.
Hey, it's no problem. I understand the technical difficulties aspects, so I just wanted to do my best to help out as best I can. So
Mm. Do you got anything else you want to say to the people, right?
Depends. Can I tell them? Can I say the R word? I've been holding it in the whole stream. Can I tell them?
Yeah. You can tell.
I really want you guys to enjoy Recusant, because the kind of storytelling and art direction, if you like Recusant, you are going to love what I go back to. And drum, imagine, I know y'all can hear the drum roll. We going back to RX Excalibur, folks.
That's what
It is time.
I'm talking
It
about.
is finally time. We are back to RX Excalibur. And the biggest changes, it's going to be reading right to left. I know for those of you who actually read it when it was on Manga Plus, if you liked it there, I am taking the storytelling to a whole other level. Like, when I say y'all not ready, y'all are not ready. I promise you. This is the send off. And I want to I want our Excalibur to release along the other great stories that we have on the LumeBento website, like Penguin Boy, Psycho, Light On. And I really we like, it's time. We leading the charge. Like, we back on our Excalibur, folks. It's time to get it. Time to lock in.
All right, and that concludes the live for now. We're gonna try and do more of these. And you're definitely gonna see more as we continue to get closer to releases. We're gonna be doing more of these as we get closer to pretty much not even just releases, but everything. So one of the things I definitely want to do is see. I want you guys to see more of our faces. And hear more of our stories and see more of our art. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, go over to Lumento.net, make an account, and get ready to be reading Recusant May 10th. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
yep,
This is
yeah.
uh this is me signing out and everybody else signing out as well. So
All right, fellas.
See you folks.
Peace.